Lubang Island, Philippines. March 9, 1974. An elderly civilian in ordinary attire forces his way through dense jungle foliage, gripping a document tightly. Perspiration drenches his clothing. In a nearby open space, a uniformed soldier stands alert, his rifle primed and blade honed, prepared to strike. Major Yoshimi Taniguchi halts, recognizing the individual he dispatched to this place back in 1944, the same one he issued timeless directives to, vowing his eventual return. He recites from the document. The conflict concluded on August 15, 1945. Your assignment is hereby concluded. You must surrender your weapons. The soldier remains motionless, not from confusion but because he has anticipated this declaration for precisely 29 years, 4 months, and 22 days. This tale revolves around a mechanism the Japanese military overlooked shutting down. 29 years prior, December 26, 1944, Lubang Island, Philippines. A modest vessel slices across inky waves toward an even shadowier coastline. 22-year-old Second Lieutenant Hiro Onoda positions himself at the front, observing the landmass expand before him. Palm silhouettes etched against a horizon soon to swarm with U.S. aircraft. The shoreline appears eerily still, unnaturally so. Every soul aboard comprehends the impending doom. The Imperial Navy's remnants litter the Pacific seabed. Enemy forces loom mere weeks or perhaps days distant. Victory has slipped away. Yet Onoda's purpose isn't conquest, it's endurance. Major Taniguchi greets him at the edge where beach meets undergrowth. His gaze weary, having gone without rest for 3 full days, burdened by a crumbling realm. He draws Onoda into the seclusion of a palm thicket, shielded from fellow arrivals and potential eavesdroppers. You're aware of your assignment? Engage in partisan tactics, disruption, reconnaissance. Never yield, no matter the pressure. Avoid self-destruction, hold out until Japanese troops reclaim the area. Onoda acknowledges with a nod, routine protocol for covert missions. Then Taniguchi clasps his arm firmly. Pay close attention. These instructions endure indefinitely. We'll retrieve you, whether in 3 years, 5, or longer. The Imperial Army shall reclaim these territories. He hesitates, locking eyes with Onoda. I swear we'll return. I give you my word. 3 days pass and U.S. troops flood Lubang. Automatic weapons chatter shatters the dawn. Explosive rounds pockmark the sands into pits. Agonized cries echo in unfamiliar tongues. Most Japanese troops capitulate or perish in hasty tombs. Onoda, along with 3 comrades, melts into the highlands. Private Yuichi Akatsu, Private Shoichi Shimada, Private Kenshichi Kosuka, and their leader, Second Lieutenant Hiro Onoda. Armed with firearms and perpetual commands, the quartet vanishes into the wilderness. Ultimately, only one emerges from it unscathed. August 15, 1945. A wireless device hisses faintly in Tokyo. The Emperor's tone, frail and unsteady, utters phrases his divine subjects have never imagined from him. We have decided to bear the unbearable. Japan yields. 70 million souls lost in the global strife. Urban centers incinerated to cinders. A dominion dissolves via one transmission. Over Lubang, U.S. aircraft skim the treetops. They scatter pamphlets by the thousands, pale sheets drifting amid verdant boughs like peculiar flurries. Hostilities have ceased. Japan capitulates. All Imperial personnel must halt combat. Safety is assured. Even as the document settled, Onoda devised his initial assault. He retrieves one from the damp earth, examines it beneath the dappled sunlight piercing the foliage. Subpar stock, irregular typography compared to authentic dispatches. Stilted wording, likely from translation. enemy deceit, mental manipulation. Just as his trainers at Nakano had predicted. He balls it up, flings it into the muck. Additional drops follow in the ensuing weeks. Then aircraft with amplifiers blare capitulation pleas in Japanese. Next arrive sealed bundles of genuine Japanese periodicals. Front pages blare the armistice. Each instance Onoda scrutinizes, probes, uncovers the defect, the mismatch, the grounds for skepticism, since detection of deceptions formed his core training. And he excels profoundly at it. Meanwhile, some 1,800 miles distant, Major Taniguchi adapts to peacetime amid Tokyo's devastation, peddling literature, forging a path in a vanquished land. Unbeknownst to him, his pledge persists. Unaware that his directive continues to operate, like an apparatus forgotten in activation, with no one recalling the off switch. The pamphlets persisted in dissent. The broadcasts droned on. It proved irrelevant, lacking the solitary element Onoda required, the proper authorization on the correct form. The handouts convinced no one. In parallel, Onoda orchestrated his debut strike. Peace had arrived. The violence was poised to commence. 1946. Inaugural annum of an phantom conflict. Torrents lash the forest relentlessly for the 30th consecutive day. The quartet huddles beneath an improvised canopy of palm leaves and pilfered sheeting. Moisture seeps through every crevice. True aridity has eluded them for 3 weeks solid. Their diet consists of bananas, coconuts, and rice pilfered from local villages during nocturnal forays, with insects serving as a desperate fallback when supplies dwindle. They tend to their firearms with fanatical care, polishing the rifles to a mirror shine, honing the blades of their swords, and meticulously inventorying their bullets. Day after day, they scan the sea for signs of Japanese vessels. None ever appear. Yet the regimen persists unchanged. Morning roll calls give way to scouting missions amid the dense foliage. They light beacon fires atop hillsides, signals that go unnoticed by the world. By 1949, 5 years deep into isolation, Private Akatsu loses his appetite and falls silent, often slumping against a trunk for endless hours, gazing at the surrounding greenery as if trapped in a leafy cage. One dawn, as his companions rest, he rises, eyes his weapon, then glances toward the trail descending to the settlements. Without a word, he departs. Half a year passes before he gives himself up to authorities in the Philippines. Gaunt and skeletal, almost beyond recognition, yet somehow enduring. At last, liberated. Returning to Japan, he shares his story with anyone who listens. Onoda remains in hiding. The conflict has ended. Someone must inform him. Official expeditions are dispatched from Japan. More pamphlets flutter down from planes. They even bring Akatsu back overhead, his pleas thundering from amplifiers. Oh, it's Akatsu. The fighting is done. Come out now. I'm pleading with you. Deep in the canopy, Onoda catches the familiar timbre of his old squad mate reverberating among the branches, and the truth dawns on him. They've seized Akatsu, worn him down, likely subjected him to torment. Now his words serve as bait to draw out the survivors. This matches the warnings from training verbatim. Yielding equates to disloyalty. Yielding turns your own pleas into ammunition against your unit. Only 3 soldiers press on in the wilderness. Akatsu has escaped. He's alerting the globe that Onoda survives. Certainly reinforcements with proper directives will arrive soon. Certainly the ordeal concludes here. It does not. Merely 1949. 25 additional years stretch ahead. The Flyers hailed him as a hero who persevered. To the Islanders, he earned a darker label, Demon. Survival tales often gloss over the uncomfortable truths, the elements clashing with tales of unyielding devotion. Hiro Onoda wasn't merely evading capture, he was on the prowl. Imagine a local farmer trudging back at twilight. His muscles throb from a full day bent over the paddies. His mind drifts to the meal ahead, to his spouse, to the kids eager for his return. The muzzle hidden in the branches escapes his notice entirely. Up to 30 lives claimed, cultivators, officers, ordinary folk, all victims of commands long forgotten. For almost 30 years, Onoda and his team executed what they viewed as valid sabotage against invading forces. They plundered fields for provisions. They torched granaries to starve the foe. They struck at scouting units. In 1954, those units were mere locals. A posse from the Philippines stumbles upon Onoda's band by a stream ford. Gunfire erupts in the muggy haze. Private Shimada catches one in the torso, tumbles into the flow, his lifeblood staining the rush. His fellows haul him ashore, but aid is impossible. No clinics, no medics, only vines, downpours, and a soldier fading on alien ground. They enter him beneath a trunk indistinguishable from the rest in this vast emerald labyrinth. Just two endure. Whispers spread among residents. Onoda the demon, a spectral force striking from shadows. Guardians warn their young ones, quote, zero-tillers arm themselves before heading to work. Efforts from Japan persist. Envelopes and snapshots cascade from the skies via flyovers. Kinfolk tape pleas aired over speakers scattered through the wilds. His mother's words filter through the boughs, quavering and fracturing with emotion. Hiro, I prepared your beloved meal just days ago. Tonkatsu. I've kept a portion fresh, hoping you'd return. It's been 3 decades since I last fed you. Come home and have some before it goes bad. Your mother implores you. Onoda hunkers in the thicket, near enough to catch her sobs. Hunger gnaws at him. No tonkatsu since 1944. For an instant, resolve wavers. His fingers inch toward the gunsling. So close. Then discipline surges back. The recording might be faked. Adversaries could hold her captive. This may be the ultimate trial. He withdraws his grip, remains concealed. The Nakano Academy had forged him unbreakable. Back in 1944, an unassuming structure in Tokyo's Nakano ward. No plaques, no fanfare. Just an entrance swallowing recruits whole. The Nakano School, Japan's covert training ground for special operations. Forget brutal drills or bellowing officers calling for calisthenics. Here, orderly rooms with benches, sessions on mental tactics, manuals dissecting guile and endurance. Envision a youthful Onoda in the middle seats, pad unfurled, pen poised. A lecturer in tailored attire strides before the group. The foes will claim the battle's concluded. He etches onto the slate with steady strokes. Psychological warfare. They'll present articles. They'll broadcast tapes. They'll scatter notes from your relatives. They'll deploy figures resembling your allies to summon you. Pivoting to the students. All mere stratagems. Your responsibility is to pierce these deceptions. Stand firm against them and hold out for authentic directives from your superior. A student lifts his hand. Sir, how much longer do we hold on? Until instructions to the contrary arrive. And if those instructions never come, the instructor halts his back and forth strides. His gaze pans over the group, 20 eager recruits destined to fan out across the Pacific in mere months. Then you carry on without end. There's no system for solo evaluation. No procedure to independently declare the objective fulfilled on your own terms. That scenario just doesn't factor into the training. Why should it? The military never forsakes its own. They forged a soldier built to weather any storm, defy any lure, outlive any trial. They armed him with every means to press forward indefinitely. But they omitted any way to halt. And come October 1972, that gap would claim the life of his final companion. 1972. October 19th, 27 years since the conflict's close. Pitch black, the scent of charred rice heavy in the air, fire racing up the sides of a supply shed, its orange glow pulsing through the overhead leaves. Onoda and Akatsu hunker down in the gloom, eyeing their handiwork. One more effective strike, one more hit on the phantom invader's grip. Then lanterns slice the obscurity. Philippine lawmen. They'd set the trap. Bullets crack, barrels flare. Akatsu spasms, drops. His fingers pull back slick and dark. Quote 7, he breathes. Quote 8, Onoda blasts into the shadows. Then he's off, barreling through thickets, barbs ripping his flesh, boughs slashing his cheeks. He keeps going. From behind, further blasts, then nothing. He pushes for 3 hours straight, only collapsing against a trunk when his limbs buckle, chest heaving. As sunrise bathes the woods in gold-flecked green, Hiro Onoda is by himself, utterly isolated, 50 years old. More than half his days lost to this tangle of trees. Every soul who launched into this with him has either died or vanished. Yet he presses on, unable to quit. No command to cease has reached him. Quitting equals treason, equals confessing 3 decades were pointless. He erects a fresh outpost higher in the peaks, more remote from the hamlets on his trail. He clings to the schedule. Morning reviews of gear destined to rust unused. Sweeps along paths in domains long ignored. Blazes on crests no boat will glimpse. Now, no one to alert, no one to divide food with, no one to break the ceaseless emerald quiet. Still, the schedule rolls on, his only tether. Solo at 50, all lost. No clearance yet to end it. He'd hold out another pair of years before an untrained, unplanned, unarmed 24-year-old posed the query everyone else had overlooked. February 1974, 2 years on from Akatsu's death, and Norio Suzuki is 24, jobless and adrift. The type to jot down wild quests because daily routine stifles him. His notepad holds 3 goals. Spot a panda loose in nature. Track the Yeti. Locate Lieutenant Onoda. He touches down on Lubang Island with just a pack and a camera. 0 army background, 0 bushcraft, 0 agenda except plunging into the brush and crossing his fingers. Friends call him crazy. The Philippine troops have scoured for years. Helicopters, hundreds of personnel, skilled hunters. Zip. Suzuki treks in solo regardless. 4 days in, he spots human traces. Tracks in the muck, embers from a spent campfire. He pitches his sight, lingers. Dawn breaks with a gun muzzle jammed to his temple. A grizzled figure in shredded fatigues looms over him, skin like cured hide, stare hardened by 30 years on watch. Who are you? What's your purpose here? This is the turning point. No troops involved. No choppers. No lavish hunts. Just a single probe. Suzuki skips the fights. Skips the facts. Skips convincing him the war wrapped up. Skips noting the Japanese empire crumbled before his time. He floats the one idea untouched in 30 years. What would it require for you to leave? That's the crux. The probe to wrap a 29-year standoff. The world had chased disproving Onoda. No one had checked his real terms. Stillness hangs. The muzzle stays put. Quote 11, quote 12, quote 13, quote 14. In 29 years, Onoda hadn't dared dwell on it for real. Unclear. What if I track him down? What if I fetch him here to issue commands? Onoda sizes up this peculiar kid. In 30 years, no one had straightforwardly sought his conditions. No one had viewed his rules as valid, not mad. If Major Taniguchi tells me to stand down, Onoda replies measuredly, dropping the rifle, I will. Suzuki heads home to Japan. Suzuki spends weeks digging through Army archives and veterans groups before locating Taniguchi, now employed at a Tokyo bookshop amid stacks of novels, living out a serene post-war existence far removed from the battlefield field. He's still with us. Onoda is still with us. He's been holding out for you. Taniguchi's expression drains of color, then hardens with resolve. I gave my word. March 9, 1974. The forest glade. Taniguchi completes the letter. His words dissolve into the muggy atmosphere. Quiet descends. Over 3 decades, Onoda had scrutinized each scrap of intel for signs of forgery. Every flyer, radio transmission, relatives' plea dismissed as faux deception. Yet here stands Taniguchi, the officer who issued the command. The one who vowed return. The one who honored that vow. Gradually, Onoda's hands shift toward his weapon's sling. He pauses. For 29 years, that rifle fused with his very being. Removing it would render Shimada's sacrifice meaningless. Would cheapen Kosuke's death. Would squander 10,759 dawns of vigilance. His hands shake. Then his gaze settles on Taniguchi, the elderly figure in ordinary attire. The elder who trekked through wilderness to fulfill a 1944 pledge. He unslings the rifle, sets it down. The 500 rounds of ammo follow, dropped to the earth. The blade, honed every week across 3 decades, joins the pile. There, all that sustained his life, all that prolonged his conflict. There his features soften. The facade fractures briefly. One tear slips free, carving a path along his sun-beaten skin. For comrades lost over 30 years of anticipation. For existence devoured by a conflict long ceased. He draws himself up, snaps a salute. Sir, I have fulfilled my duties. Taniguchi's tone cracks. Indeed. At last, you may stand down. World War II's final holdout soldier ceases his battle. The conflict had concluded. No courtroom reckoning followed. 2 days on, in Manila. President Marcos offers his grip. Photographers' bulbs erupt. The amnesty bears his flourish from an ornate pen. That same period, a Filipina widow lays her spouse to rest beneath a cross, she whittled by hand. Up to 30 lives claimed. Cultivators, officers, innocents, with no hearing, no reckoning. Japan loomed as a vital commerce ally. Accusations evaporate. Onoda boards a flight back. Throngs greet him at the terminal. His autobiography soars on charts. Idol to certain circles, fiend to the rest. He launches an wilderness training academy. Envision it. Hiro Onoda addresses a room of young Japanese students, instructing on sourcing hydration, crafting refuge, persisting through hardship. He endured 29 years in a phantom war. Today, he imparts endurance lessons to kids whose gravest ordeals might be a tough test. The twist stings with bitterness. The Nakano Academy equipped him for eternal resilience. Major Taniguchi delivered directives without end date. Then the world overlooked the jungle sentinel. Across 3 decades, he executed his design flawlessly. Endured, observed, persisted, struck. The mechanism operated without flaw. There's the true dread. Hiro Onoda passed on January 16, 2014, at age 91. He offered no overt remorse for the deaths. To him, he had served honorably. His conditioning deemed that sufficient. The global war wrapped in 1945. Onoda's private war wrapped in 1974. The gap lay not in knowledge, he possessed ample. The gap was authorization. The Nakano Academy forged him to weather any storm. It omitted guidance for the aftermath.